allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And just a reminder, there is a sign-in sheet up front if you'd like to sign in. And do we have any revisions?
We do have one addition, and that is under consent. We'll just put it as item G, school bus purchase. Y'all have to approve that. I'm crazy. I saw the old agenda. It was on there. I didn't tell Felicia to put it on there, so put it on me.
Okay. All right. So first off, we have our recognitions, and we will start out with our mountain movers.
Okay, first one, I'm gonna ask all three of our board members to come up because our community mountain mover this month is a little bit special, is that we've got three representatives here on our Masonic lodges here in Estill County. And that would be the Irvin Lodge, the O.D. Henderson Lodge, and the Stafford Lodge. And these lodges, they do a fantastic job in our community, and you know, they're very important members of our community. And some of the things that they do for us as a school system is that they each present scholarships each year to our seniors, and has done so for a long time. They've been very involved in our attendance programs within our schools, especially at West Irvin and Estill Springs, in terms of basically donating bicycles to encourage attendance for our students. They're also very important members of assisting in our backpack program, and that's our program that helps feed our kids that during the weekends that sometimes their families struggle with food and having enough to eat during the weekend, and they work in that program and work with our backpack buddies as well. But some other things they do, they support the junior firefighter program. They're very involved in the Aldersgate camp. And today, believe it or not, was the first day I've ever been to the Aldersgate camp. And it's a very beautiful place over there, along with where the furnace is at. They host appreciation dinners for our first responders in our community. And they're very involved in the annual fish fry, the pancake breakfast, and the railroad festival. They're just important members of our community, and I'm going to ask that Matthew Kirby is here to represent the Irvin Lodge. Greg Horn is here to represent the O.D. Henderson Lodge, and Aaron Gilbert is here to represent the Stafford Lodge. And I'd ask you guys to come up, and if our board, okay. I'll do one up. Never mind. And ask you guys to come up. If you've got anybody with you, you can bring them up as well.
Too many people for it. Can you just present that? Too many.
And somebody want to introduce your guests with you?
This is Tom Kirby.
Also a member of O.D. Henderson Lodge.
Come on.
Tom, you can stand in the back of them. But guys, we're very appreciative of what you do for our school system, and we can't give every member a medal, but you can put that with your certificates. And we appreciate what you all do for the children of Estill County. And y'all sort of come together there. They'll get a picture of you all. And
I'll shake your hands.
Thank you.
I didn't think she was gonna get involved in the basketball game coming in, but
It's good to see you, Tom. I don't want to see you.
thank you all. Y'all come together there and we'll get a picture of
Three in
everybody.
each. Oh.
And I appreciate y'all very much. You make me look a little
He makes everyone.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Appreciate it.
Next, we'll have our classified and certified mountain movers. And our classified mountain mover is Miss Angie Bowman. Angie is an instructional assistant at South Urban Pre-K, and she's worked for the Estill County School System for 6 years. Angie says she loves PK because she loves taking care of kids and seeing them learn new things. And she says that the hugs they give are the very best. And she's very appreciative of work at South Urban, and because it feels like a family. And Angie, we're glad you're part of our family and what you do for our kids. And there's your certificate, and there's your gift card for the steam engine. And I'll present you with the Medal of Excellence today for what you do for our kids. Thank you. And last but not least is Miss Brianna Hibbard. Brianna is a 7th grade language arts teacher at Estill County Middle School. She's taught for 9 years and it's her 5th year in Estill County. Brianna says she remembers middle school being a difficult age for her, and this is why she made the decision to teach at the middle school level. She remembers the impact that good teachers had on her, and that has motivated her to do the same. And our teachers at the middle school are doing a fantastic job, and we're really appreciative and glad to be able to recognize you, Anna, for the job that you do. And I will award you with the Medal of Excellence
Would
also.
not be possible without the support from you guys, that's for sure.
We appreciate what you do, and good teachers make the difference in lives of kids.
Thank you, Mr. Staley.
You're welcome. And that includes all of our staff. There's other staff members here. A lot of you work behind the scenes every day, maybe not always recognized, but we appreciate what you do for our kids each and every day.
Okay, next on the agenda, we have a closed session. So we will ask everybody to be excused, and when we come back together, I know.
And there's no action coming out of closed session. Peter, sorry you had to wait, man.
That's not a
But
problem.
Yeah, we're moving right on to you, facilities.
Yeah.
Mr. Sailor, one thing I forgot to tell you is John Bicknell's grandmother died last night.
oh, did you?
Just want you to know.
I'll still reach out.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're good.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, first Estill Springs, we have consideration and approval of pay application number 5. The design team has taken a look at the pay application, and we've reviewed it and sent comments back to the contractor, made a couple of changes, and we recommend approval of pay application number 5.
We say, Peter, 90% complete on that project?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was taking some of the interior stuff. I think it's really just right at getting complete. There's some painting left to do. There's some flooring. We had
Is the
flooring.
painting corrected?
The painting that is being corrected as they're moving through the building. Yeah, now they're trailing a little bit from the rest of the project. But we also have a couple of the later change orders for the flooring. They still got some work to do on that in the kitchen, and finish up the VCT flooring, and then there's the new storefront system going in at the front of the building as well.
We're hoping that it'll be about 99% complete when we come back January the 3rd or 4th, whatever the date is. We're hoping it'll be good by then. Good news from the paint contractors today. I mean, it is a big time issue, but they are gonna have additional staff there. We've freed up a couple of classrooms where they can work in those classrooms and put them back, and then we are rotating 2 into 2 of the newer classrooms. So we're doing a rotation, and kids are doing fine, but we want to try to get back to normalcy come January. So that's what the push is all about. So there's just a few little issues, and again, the roof will be coming after that, and if they can get some good weather days out there at the middle school, I mean, you're gonna hear good progress on that roof as well, based on the weather, but they should be able to start their roofing out there sometime February 1, something like that. So, but my recommendation to you all is go ahead and pay this pay app, and let's make sure that we keep this project moving forward.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Are you in favor of that? Okay. I saw Felicia give you that look.
Be a shame to make the motion and not vote, buddy.
The next item is the roof project, and I am glad to have Brandon Henson here with me. If anybody has any questions, the contractor on the roof project has been busy at the middle school. Weather's been a little bit dicey every now and then, but the pay app has been reviewed by the design team, and we do feel like it represents work that has been completed and installed, and we would recommend approval.
I do think they've got a stretch of weather coming up here during the weekend into Thanksgiving, and I think the plans is that they're gonna start tearing off again on the next section as well as putting the metal down. Probably about 20% complete on the metal part, with that back done and that one corner about a little over 50% on the tear off, so they're making good progress when there's weather out there. They worked all weekend last weekend and got about half of that one side done where that gable or the valley end is, so done a good job. And I would thank Brandon today. We'd had a leak that had come up and thought maybe it was roof related, but as we got to looking, because as the metals went on, the gutters, the downspouts don't go on yet, but so there was ponding water in the back of the building that was seeping through the sidewall and causing a leak. And they discovered that today. They were very responsive to that today and appreciative of that. So weather's their enemy, and I know Peter and them's been down here several times over the last few weeks. So my recommendation is to make that payment in terms of $199,243.84.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion, do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
I'm used to those evil looks on her.
All right, the next item is again about the roof replacement project. We have a change order that is a $0 change order to the board, but we are looking to just adjust the schedule to reflect some issues that we have with getting material on site. This was a project that was slated to be worked on over the summer, but we tried to provide some clear backup behind here about the manufacturer's issues with getting the metal product produced and shipped to us, and shipped to the project site in a timely fashion. And feel like the contractor did everything that they could to get the material here, but there were some extenuating circumstances with the manufacture and the delivery of the material. So this particular change order will adjust the substantial completion date 129 days, and the new substantial completion date for the project will be the 24th of January. So it sort of was supposed to run June, September. They got the materials and stuff in right around October 1st for start, and that pushes that substantial completion date into the middle part of January.
Absolutely a 4-month delay.
And that's for both roofs, right? Includes the
Yes.
roof projects.
The January date is to complete right now the Springs
That
project
is
as well.
correct. Yeah.
Is that reflected in the change in that, Peter?
I'm pretty sure I'll have to, I'll have to, yeah, I think it does.
Do you think what now?
When we vote on something, we better make sure.
Yeah, we will definitely, yeah, we better make sure, that is correct.
Because you've got June through September would be 122 days, which means we've allowed them basically
Right.
7 weather days up to this point to get to 129.
Yeah, well, no, I was going with the, so you guys, I really apologize. I don't have the information.
And we're all
I didn't
looking
get.
at you right now.
I know, so I really apologize, but I basically took the start date that we had, which was June 1st, the substantial completion date that was listed in the specifications, and I shifted that start date from June 1st to October 1st, and shifted the substantial completion date the same number of days. And it was 129 days.
So that wouldn't include any weather delays we've had in October and November.
That is
So
correct. That
they
is
could
correct.
actually bring back a request because of
For
weather
weather.
days to extend it further.
Yes.
Because there's been, even though they've worked Saturdays and Sundays,
So that is for both roofs.
yes.
That
But
is my understanding, but Brandon brings up a good point, and it may be best, Jeff, if we can, for me to go back and double check that
I
addendum.
make a motion
Can we
to
table
lay
this one?
On the table.
Yes.
table it. That
I
would be the
appreciate
best thing.
that
That's my
very much,
recommendation.
And I appreciate you bringing that up, but I'm fairly sure that this is correct, but if it's not.
Yeah, let's make
we'll
sure,
have it
because
corrected.
I don't think it would include all the weather
We
days.
have a motion.
that they have.
I second.
Okay, any discussion? All
I
in favor?
appreciate it very much.
No, thank you very much.
Brandon, get it done.
Well, I can tell you one thing, when they can work, they've been working. I mean, they worked the last weekend, they've worked the last several Sundays, because Sunday's been the best day.
We've
I
had
guess-
some issues now, you know, where we're doing tear off, and of course, the underlayment there is a slippery surface. We've not been able to access that roof until almost midday every day. And, you know, of course,
Frost.
wintertime,
Days are shorter.
days are a lot shorter, so.
So at times you're only getting to work 5 hours a day
Yeah.
at most.
At most, yeah. So that's been, quite a bit of an issue.
There's about a 4-inch decking going on top of that roof. It's about 4 inches in thickness, so the heat that's in that attic space, now it's gotta go through 4 more inches to melt that frost off, and it's just they're not able to get up there, so. But I do appreciate the effort that they've had, and they've got a good subcontractor too, in Anthony, so, I know that they'll be moving forward. Matter of fact, I talked to Anthony today when this was going on about the leak, and their plans are they're gonna work Saturday, Sunday, hopefully right through Wednesday, so they're gonna try to get 5 days in here coming up. It's just a matter of weather holds out. Board, I would ask you on item number 3 that we just table it with no action.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
And Peter, now that you're here, we would like to, if you all could look at your schedule, because we'd like to get a Area Technology Center update for the December board meeting in terms of where we're gonna build it and what the design currently looks like with some of the changes that's been made. But also, we would like to meet with you and Ron to consider some other design considerations,
Okay?
considering what's going on with item number 3. So if you don't mind, if you can get us a date that you and Ron could come down, and maybe one of your civil department, you know,
Absolutely.
civil engineering department, and let's have them come down. And we'd like to just sit down and talk about moving forward, because we do not want to delay that Area Technology Center any longer because of the $5.7 million grant. We have to show good faith effort that we're moving forward with that.
Right.
I've been called on the carpet 3 times now since we've been awarded that grant, and the last time I was there, I told them we'd be breaking ground in the spring, so we've got to try to keep moving forward with that.
Right.
So we've got some issues to deal with there, so if you can get me a date, maybe the week after Thanksgiving, that you all could come down, spend a couple hours with us.
We will be here, yeah.
Okay? And just let me know, and we'll make our schedules, give us a couple dates, and then we can agree to it.
I'll send those to you.
And it might be better because of just work schedules and everything, if it could be in the afternoon at 5, something like that.
Yeah.
That'll work,
Or lunchtime
or lunchtime.
for me.
And if we can call a special called board meeting if we want to. If we got more than, 2 there. And you give us a date, we'll call a special called board meeting.
Okay, we'll send you a
Okay.
couple dates.
Okay.
that week.
If we're gonna have more than 2. So we're gonna table item number 4 as well until we can have this meeting. Yeah, Peter, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Brandon, thank you for being here as well. Do we need to
I was gonna
make
say,
a
we need a
motion
motion.
to table
Do we-
that?
Yeah, to
Let's go
table
ahead
item 4.
I make the motion, we table item 4
till the December board meeting.
till the December board meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? All in favor? Okay. So moving on, next, we have our consent items.
I'll just point out any of those. I mean, I would let you know that, of course, we have accepted Jason's resignation due to the fact that he will be the county attorney come January 1. So we will actively seek proposals for our board attorney moving forward. The CCAP program is a program that we're going to use to do an audit of all of our custodial supplies, and not only our custodial supplies, but our custodial time schedules, to make sure that we are, to make adjustments that will make sure that work schedules are equal, that they're fair across the board. In terms of, I don't think we're overstaffed by any means. We're staffed based on KDE allocations right now, which those can be adjusted sometimes, but, as far as we're staffed based on KDE allocations for square footage, so I don't think we're overstaffed, but we'll be looking at that to see if we are. But the main part of this is gonna be to look at the supplies that we use. And, I would dare say that we've made a lot of improvements in cleanliness of our buildings, but we can always do better. So with that being said, I think our custodians, some of them are a little bit worried, but I've tried to tell those that's doing a great job, you're doing a great job. We just wanna try to make your job easier, and also as part of your strategic plan, which is through 2020, was to have a 15% reduction in maintenance and custodial and transportation supplies. So we want to try to, and that's going to help us do that. We've got the one out-of-state trip that you all got information on.
What's the cost of using that?
Nothing, it's absolutely free.
That's great.
And we already buy our products from Hilliard because they're part of KCP, which is a state contract pricing anyway. So as part of their service to us, they'll come in, they'll do an evaluation of our buildings absolutely free. And also as part of that, as things are identified, we're going to have professional development for our custodians. How to do certain jobs that maybe right now we're not doing the best job on. I think sometimes it's a sad thing to say in a lot of our jobs, we hire somebody and say, hey, welcome to Estill County Board of Education, we're glad to have you, now go do your job. And we don't ever give them any training and to try to help them. I know year before last, Felicia was able, we got some training for our administrative assistants. So we're trying to provide more training for our employees so that we can get the best out of them. And they want to do a fantastic job anyway. And then the last thing I added was school bus purchase. We're going to purchase 2 school buses. That's down. We bought 5 last year. This will make us have bought 13 school buses over 4 years, which that puts us right where we need to be. We might be down 1 or two, but it puts us in great shape, and we can back off here for a little bit. We don't have to buy 4 or 5.
What did we budget it for?
We'd only budgeted about for 2. Now, we do have some extra money within the budget that I told you all when we approved the budget several months ago. There's money sitting there in buses. We've actually budgeted for 4. We're only gonna buy 2, so that money can be reallocated to some different needs that we may have in maintenance. And I'm gonna talk about a couple of those down there in a minute under the superintendent's report, some of the things that we're trying to get done for school safety. So, but that'll give us 13 buses over the last 4 years, and then we can sit back next fall and sort of take an inventory of where we're at and decide what we need to do.
We have 28 routes now.
We've got 27 main routes, 3 handicap routes, for a total of 30.
So almost 50% of our buses now are 4 years.
Yeah. If we buy 2 next year, we would have replaced 50% of them in 5 years, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And if we get to that point, then we can maybe get on a 3-2-3-2 thing. If we get in a bind and we can't buy 2 or 3 that year, if we only buy 1 or we buy none, we're at a position now we can do that. Before we weren't in that position. So this will definitely help us. It'll give us 2 more quality sub buses, and at that point in time, we're in pretty good shape. But now if you snooze for 3 years, you're right back in the same shape you was. So we can't afford not to buy some buses going forward, but it does put us back in a good situation. So my recommendation is that if you all would approve those consent items.
Do we have a motion?
Well, I've got on this jump rope trip, how much does that cost? Some costs on the back of it, are we paying those?
It's totally paid for by the school, I believe. I don't think there is any request from the board to pay for that. Is that correct?
That's correct. The jump rope
So-
actually raises, they fundraise.
And they've done this trip now for, what, 3 or 4 years?
Since I've been there, and I think they were doing it for several years.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not opposed to
Yeah.
it, I'm just
Yeah.
No, that's,
We don't have to cover any money out of that of our general school budget either. They cover that cost themselves.
it's a pretty good activity. A lot of kids are involved in that.
It's pretty awesome. I've been up there the last couple of years that they've been. I don't know that I'll get to go this year, but they get to interact with kids from all over, and they stay busy and learn new jump roping tricks. It's pretty exciting.
Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Do we have a second? We can stay here all night if you want to.
It's a standoff.
Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, moving right along. We have public comments. Everything?
I was just notified a few minutes ago. I think it's appropriate during this time to let everybody know that Mr. Bicknell's grandmother has passed away. So we need to be in thoughts for his family as they grieve the passing of a grandmother.
Okay. Next, we have the superintendent's report and the board member forum.
And I was holding out on this. This is your bus order form, so y'all have a copy of that. And anybody in the audience that wants a copy of it, it's not a signed copy, but there is a copy of that. I guess we're down to superintendent's reports. You've got the notification of personnel actions, and you have those. Those are for your view and pleasure. And you have my activity report from this past month for anybody that is looking. Everybody's welcome to that. I will let you know that we had a great meeting with BB&T, and BB&T reached out to us. And there are a lot of community block grants that's available through BB&T that we didn't realize it was there. So there's some possibilities as we move forward on a couple of issues that they can help us with property surveys, and they can do it when it's dealing with older facilities and different things like that. So we're really going to try to use that. And I thought that was really a really good meeting with them. And of course, the Gear Up meeting was the mandatory startup meeting on it, which is a $2 million grant over the next 7 years. And had the pleasure of sitting in on the KESS Executive Board meeting. I'm actually part of the KAS board, and we hired Dr. Jim Flynn as our new Executive Director for the Kentucky Association of School Superintendents. And Dr. Flynn has over 30 years of experience. He's actually going to retire and begin this job in August, and he will do a fantastic job in his new position. So welcome him to that position. KSBA scholarships, I just wanted you to know that we did get our our selections in on that. Rhonda and I have signed off on the paperwork on those, and those went in. Just a reminder to you all, the Winter Symposium. If you can see Felicia tomorrow, she's going to try to take care of this if you plan on going. It is in Louisville. I know that Sheila's planning on going, and I don't think we've heard from Brian yet, and I don't know about Jeannie Joe, but if anybody needs to go, that you need to complete hours, and hopefully you can get this charter school stuff out of the way, and then we can get back to normal a little bit. The charter school stuff has really caused issues in terms of trying to get your hours in. Do you all have?
I didn't get this time.
You all should have got that.
In the mail,
You
but I
all
didn't.
can take that one, that's fine. I'm not going to be going to it. I'll go to the one in February just like I always do, but you all can, I'm already busy that weekend with KHSAA activities. The Kentucky Steam Heritage Corporation, I did leave you a copy of a letter that we're in support of their project, and I think that letter was included. They're actually applying for a grant that would help them try to purchase the rail line from Winchester to Hazard. As you know, they purchased 40 acres, 30 acres, 40 acres, I believe, the old Ravenna Railroad Yard, and that's been bought, and it can be a standalone attraction, but their hope is that they can purchase the line, and if they can, it'll be twofold. One would be that they will run adventure tourism through railroad excursions that people can go from Winchester to Irvin, or you can go from Irvin to Winchester, or you can get on board and you can go from Winchester all the way to Hazard. They're going to run up and down the line, but the other part of that is to supply a revenue stream, is that there's still small coal companies and different manufacturers up and down this line that they might not have 100 gone coal train that they need, but they may need to ship 10 a week. And CSX just basically cut those people out, and 10 wasn't enough, so we wasn't gonna fool with you. So their goal is to pick up those small customers to help pay for that line. But this is an important project for them, and it's an important grant, and we're glad to be partnering with them. This one also, for anybody, I know we've had safety the last couple times, I know that we still have parents that's concerned about some of those things. Some of the security upgrades at the high school and middle school that we've been trying to move forward on, as we're replacing our phone system, some of those schools weren't set to update until next year. But because of the fact that we were trying to operate 2 phone systems, it created issues that I can't pick up my phone and call the high school directly. I have to call the main number and be able to do that. And none of the extensions work to where a classroom teacher can pick up their phone and call us here at the office if they can't get somebody in their front office. So we just decided, hey, it's not worth the 8 or 9 months to wait. Those phone systems start going in December 10th, the week of that, December 10th. So they're going to be done before Christmas. So when we come back in January, all schools and maintenance and the bus garage will all be on the new phone system. So we're back to normal, completely updated. It's a big cost to the school district, but it was needed. Also, we've done a security camera upgrade at the middle school that puts them into the 21st century when it comes to their security cameras. We will eventually probably add some cameras to that building, but right now we've got their cameras that they currently have up and running and functioning. We've got 2 cameras to replace, so we're taking care of those. And the high school, we're upgrading their security camera system to include an additional, is it 14 new cameras?
Close to that.
Somewhere in the neighborhood of 14. I think it's somewhere, and that's a good number, 12 to 14 new cameras at the high school that will give us some vantage points that we've not had before. That is moving forward rather quickly too, and our goal is to have it done by January 1 if we can. And I think that will be pretty much right on where we'll be. They'll do most of the work probably during Christmas break. And so those are going to be some enhanced security upgrades. Last thing I would update you on security upgrades is that we are taking applications for our law enforcement and safety director. That application, really it could have ended last Friday. I've let it go an additional week, just trying to make sure that we get applicants, that we can narrow those down. We will try to get that done and maybe have somebody hired before we go to Christmas break. They may not start their duties until January 1, but we will have an officer on duty come January 1, and I think that will let our parents know that we're trying to, and I appreciate, local government. I know our new sheriff has already reached out and wants to meet next week, and we'll be talking to him. And we can still do something with our sheriff's department that will add even more security to our schools, but we just wasn't able, because of budget constraints that both of our cities have, we weren't able to do a partnership with them. So it was just decided if we're going to spend money, then let's just go ahead and move forward on our own, and that's what we're going to do. And we'll have that officer in place here pretty quick. And in the meantime, the Kentucky State Police has been responding to situations that we have. So if we do need them, the Kentucky State Police has been responding as needed. And the last thing, I don't know, I've taken 5 or 10 minutes here, but the Urban High celebration, mark your calendar for that, December 17th. It is going to be a great time for this community to come together. Urban High was near and dear to the hearts of many people in this community, and it's been gone now since the early 70s. But those people, they still come out and they support our schools, they support our kids, and anytime you lose a school, whether it's, I'm sure there's people that went to Harg or went to Urban Elementary, Ravenna Elementary, they still have ties to those buildings, and anytime you lose a school, but Urban High was a school district that lost their entire identity when they consolidated with Estill County. And those people, their alumni are really excited. I got a picture of their t-shirts today. They're having commemorative t-shirts printed for this night. We're going to don the black and gold, and we're going to have Urban on our basketball jerseys as we play Wolfe County that night. Going to have a huge reception where they are able to come sign in. We want to get a record of who was there, have a reception for them, and just have a night of celebration of just our community. And I just believe it's an opportunity for us to really have a great time. So that is my superintendent's report. I don't know if any board members have anything they'd like to report or not.
Do you have anything else you'd like to report?
I'd like to move to adjourn.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? All in favor? We are adjourned.